Okay, and we are back again, checking in on Brian Stelter. And oh, he's yelling at Trump again. Little Stelty is throwing a fit that his hairline is non-existent, and he's mad Trump is mean to him. Let's take a look at what he's saying.
He doesn't want to hear about it on TV anymore. He is lashing out at the press for keeping COVID in the news. But the public is paying attention to the news. Most of you want to know more, want to stay updated on how to stay safe. A recent Pew survey found that 4 out of 5 Americans are...
Here we go again, CNN making up fake numbers and acting like their polling is accurate. The little guy is mad Trump actually fights back and doesn't bow down to them. He's clearly upset that Trump called him a name. Let's take a listen.
Obviously, no one wants COVID to be a top story, but the overwhelming majority of Americans know that it is, that it has to be a top priority. This is less about newsrooms setting the agenda and more about the virus and the public health community setting the agenda. This is less about media fear-mongering and more about public health experts leading the way. This virus has a nasty way of asserting itself, and it's happened again this weekend. News of this new outbreak.
Apparently only Republicans can get COVID, or maybe that's all CNN will report on. Oh, he's mad that only airports watch them. And wait, starting in April, even airports won't have CNN on. Diva Stelter is mad his audience will basically go to zero. And he's still rambling about COVID. Let's take a listen.
That is the sound of capitulation by the federal government. That is the sound of surrender. Trump, meanwhile, sounds bored with this leadership challenge.
Whoa! Big word to make him sound intelligent. You can see and hear the jealousy in Brian. Orange man bad, am I right? Oh, now he's playing an out-of-context clip of Trump. Let's take a listen.
COVID, a plane goes down, 500 people dead, they don't talk about it.
We don't talk about that because it hasn't happened in many years, but he's whipping up hatred of the media anyway. It's part of his closing argument of the campaign. And he's adding a conspiracy theory. This is what it is, a conspiracy theory.
And more out-of-context clips.
COVID. By the way, on November 4th, you won't hear about it anymore. It's true.
You hear the crowd, you hear their reactions. Presumably Trump doesn't mean this literally. Hopefully he knows better, but obviously COVID will remain a top story all winter long. It is forecastable.
Looks like more
the same way we
fear-mongering
can
out of
forecast that
CNN.
winter storms.
Who can say they are surprised by this? I'm sure Americans just love living in fear, which is why CNN's ratings are so great. Let's take a look at his rambling.
The media for caring so much about testing.
What it does is it gives the fake news media something to talk about. So they say cases are up in the United States. That's because we test.
Brian is mad that Trump is telling the American people the truth. How surprising to Brian. Oh, and he's still fear-mongering, and he even mentions Hunter Biden, but he still won't report the truth on Hunter. Where is Hunter, Brian?
And his base agrees, but he is out of touch with where the rest of the country is. I think this is really important to recognize. 78% of Americans.
Whoa! More fake data from CNN.
Infected? Or to put it another way, just 1 in 5 Americans are not concerned about getting infected with COVID-19. Now, Trump claims this is because the media is trying to scare everybody, but most Americans are looking at the raw data, listening to local officials, and making up their own minds.
No, Brian. The majority of Americans do not listen to you or any of the fake news. The majority of Americans are sick of the fear-mongering and small businesses being shut down while Walmart can stay open. You are out of touch with reality and just an angry little man.
Really fighting the media on this one. He's resisting reality. He's trying to make up his own reality, which is really the central story of the Trump years ever since Inauguration Day. Another day, another distraction. You know, Trump's lies are so pervasive that the Washington Post says he is on track to exceed 25,000 false or misleading claims by Election Day. CNN's Daniel Dale is almost running out of adjectives.
Again, he's peddling more fake data, claiming Trump lies. Oh, the irony. You have to believe the only ratings that little Brian gets are from people thinking that CNN is Comedy Central.
That's what the president has never fully accepted all year long. But news outlets have. Well, most of them. I think most news outlets are actually gaining trust.
What did he just say? This man is delusional.